In this video game commentary, we're going to be talking about what it takes and how you can best practice a new champion or a new character in a game. What is going on YouTube? King Kevin here with some Paladins gameplay on the map Serpent Beach. Now, in case you guys are not aware of Paladins at all, it is a game sort of like Overwatch, and I've played it before on this channel, but not very much, and I just kind of want to make sure there's a relatively general understanding of how the game works. So the game, first of all, is an open beta. So Hi-Rise, the developers of the game, are constantly putting out betas, and it's currently in open beta 43, also known as OB43 right now. In this current patch, in the most latest patch, they released a new champion. Her name is Maeve, and I am playing her right now. She is a flanker, and her abilities are basically throwing knives and doing a bunch of very mobile stuff. And me being me, I usually play support, again, as I mentioned before on this channel, so changing gears and changing a mindset to be able to play as a flanker is something that is very challenging to me and certainly did not come easy. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say, oh, this was a fantastic gameplay with Maeve, this is how you should play her, or this is how you should generally play any flanker. I'm not going to say that because I know for a fact that this was not a great game. This was probably the third or fourth game that I played Siege mode, and the third or fourth game that I played online with people. I practiced with her a little bit before. I played her in the PvE mode, and I kind of got a hang of how her abilities work, but I haven't perfected it at all. As I mentioned before, I played about maybe 2 or 3 games before the current gameplay, and this is what I've been able to achieve in probably about half an hour or so of practice. So one thing about Maeve's primary weapon that I had to adjust to was the fact that there is weapon drop. And as you can see on the screen, every time you either hold down left click or you just click the button, she throws 2 daggers. And when she throws those 2 daggers, they kind of go in the general direction where the crosshairs are, yes, but there is a vertical drop, which kind of accounts for the fact that there is a little bit of skill to her. Imagine if her throwing knives just kind of went straight on and hit 100% damage at any range. That would be kind of broken and kind of ridiculous. So there is a skill level involved in learning the drop, and that's what I basically did in the PvE mode and in the games that I played prior to this. I was trying to get a hang of the drop of the daggers at various distances and various jumping around and all these different vertical things that, again, I had to reprogram because in most of this game, and I'm trying to think of any other champion that has this feature, I don't think any of them do actually, all of their weapons fire pretty much straight on. But with Maeve, again, she's throwing daggers and they have a drop to them, which is very challenging to do in any sort of game, and this game is no exception. So that's kind of what makes her a flanker. They fly pretty darn straight if you're up close to them, or you are able to easily hit other people, and that just makes her a more close quarters combat person, of course, as you are supposed to be as a flanker. Now, her other abilities are supposed to help her out in this regard. So her right click is a dash / knockback if you hit a person, which deals a certain amount of damage. I think it's 500 or 600, and it knocks them back as well as you back. So it's a way to quickly deal damage, and you can follow up quickly with someone. And learning how to do this in succession and doing this well is a very key way to play Maeve. And again, I'm not trying to say that this is how you should play her, but you'll see frequently in the way that I kind of combo this is that I will do a primary fire, so a left click followed up by a right click, and then hit up again with a left click. So doing that combo of left, right, left click will spam, well, not really spam, but it will hit the person and deal theoretically 900 damage. Right click and then deal 600 damage, and then left click again for another 900 damage. That's 2400 damage, I think, if I did my math correctly, which is able to take out, some of the other flanks. It's able to take out some of the damage champions as well, and it's able to do a lot of DPS because those are really, really quick striking actions. She also has a double jump ability, which again helps with the mobility. Her escape is a ability called Prowl, which just lets her move 80% faster than what she's used to. And her Q is a very powerful ability. It has a really long cooldown of 20 seconds, but it heals you for 500 health, and it also knocks all the cooldowns of all your other abilities down. So for example, if you had just prowled at someone, as in you just ran at them at 80% speed, you right click them to try to do a knockback, and you need to, for example, get away. If you got really low health, you can hit that Q, and then you will get 500 health, and you can prowl and then go away. So it's a really good way to be mobile with her, but again, she has a very low health pool, so that's kind of the balancing factor. And again, her primary weapon has weapon drop. So is she overpowered? I personally don't think so, because you might see it in this gameplay is that a lot of the damage champions are able to take me out in 1 or 2 hits. Specifically, like I think there's a Shaolin somewhere who's very, very pesky in terms of trying to target me, and he does a good job at it because that's what he's supposed to do. But at the same time, I'm trying to take him out as well because I know he's outputting a lot of damage. Now, I don't want to harp about bad teammates all too much because that gets a little bit boring and everyone ends up getting them, so it's kind of a moot point to try to, I guess, talk more about it. But if you guys kind of scroll to the end of this video or click to the end of this video and check out the scoreboard, it's kind of impressive to see where I performed relative to my team and even relative to the enemy team, given what I was supposed to be doing. So if you just look at the eliminations and the damage that I output, I think I get the most damage of everyone in my team, and I am very, very close to matching the damage of some of the other champions on the enemy team. And being a flanker, yeah, you're supposed to be getting kills on the flank, but you're generally not supposed to be outperforming your damage champions in that regard. And we have a Bomb King on our team, and nothing against them, they didn't really do that well. And in general, the rest of my team wasn't all that great. And I'm playing a champion that I am brand new to. I only unlocked her about an hour and a half ago from the time that I made this gameplay or played this gameplay, and I was able to do very well with her. And because of that, I guess you could say that I adapt rather quickly. And if you don't, you know, there's always ways to practice. You know, you can go into, for example, Paladins has a training range that I've mentioned many, many times, where you can experiment testing the abilities and all this stuff and try to get used to the champion before you go ahead and play the game. So in addition to saying that, oh, okay, learning a new champion is just as easy as practicing, which I'm not saying that practice is going to be easy, I'm just saying it's necessary. This is kind of a commentary, just again showing you guys what a little bit of practice can do and what happens when you do implement these things that I'm talking about. You can do very well personally. Granted, if you guys aren't coordinating as a team or your teammates are not pulling their weight, you're still not going to get a good gameplay. And I was playing a game just before this. We were playing on Frozen Guard. My team was up 3-1. And in case you guys don't know, Paladins, you have to get 4 points to win. We only need to capture the central point one last time, and we got really close, and then our whole team kind of fell apart. The enemy team then got 3 points straight in a row, and then they beat us, which was pretty embarrassing. Yes, I was playing Maeve there, and I still was getting used to her, but on the other hand, the other team had a Maeve who was also relatively new, and she was also working on it. So I assumed that I was also better than her just because I was actually killing her a lot more, and I did end up getting more eliminations than her. But it turns out that, you know, everything in this game is a team effort. You need to coordinate things, and we weren't talking that much. You can pretty much see in the, you know, the little voice chat or voice guided chat or whatever you want to call it, we weren't talking all that much. We weren't typing things out. We weren't trying to coordinate everything, and that's kind of the reason why we ended up losing. Maybe it was my fault because I wasn't playing Maeve quite as well as I could have. I was trying to go on the flank, but again, the mindset of being a support champion the whole time makes me think I have to be near people, and if I'm not near people, then I'm not doing my job because I can't heal them. You know, kind of that mindset does not work with a flanker when you're supposed to be your lone wolf. You're supposed to be out on your own, trying to pick off people one by one and trying to get them off their horses at the spawn room and all these different things. So doing something different is definitely challenging, but again, if you put a little bit of practice in, you can get some pretty rewarding gameplay, as you can see here. Again, I did a lot of damage compared to the rest of my team, and I'm quite proud of that, considering that, again, I'm only like a level 2 or level 3 Maeve, so I've only played her for maybe 3 or 4 games, at least again on Siege. I've played a few PvEs before this. But that will kind of pretty much do it for Maeve. Let me know what you guys think about her if you guys do play Paladins. Do you guys like her? Do you think she's broken in any way, or do you think she's a little bit too weak? I personally think that she's okay, and again, the reason why is that even though she's very, very mobile, she has a very, very low health pool, and there are many times that I get two-shotted by a Shaolin, and that's just really frustrating because I can barely do any damage to him because he is usually very far away, and I'm trying to sneak up on him or prowl up on him and trying to do some knockback work on him and things like that, and I just can't get to him because he's so far away. On the other hand, if you are kind of standing at an elevated point on the map, it's really easy to throw your knives and hit someone because they generally go straight down. It's just when you're throwing horizontally or throwing upward that they have more of a downward trajectory, but it's very challenging to play her, and I think this is a very high skill, high reward champion, just as, for example, Androxus might be, because you have to fire and have to make sure your aim is on to get that hit with his revolver. And similarly with Maeve, you have to make sure you kind of can estimate where the enemy champion is running away to, or where they're going to be, how far away they are, and what the drop is going to be like on your knives because of that. And because of that, it's very challenging, and you just have to get a feel for it. But eventually, with some work, I hope to be very proficient with Maeve, and she may become my favorite flanker at that time. But enough of me babbling. This will do it for this video game commentary. Let me know what you guys think about her again in the comments below. And if you guys haven't already, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more content in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next video.